Tempered Steel was a historic anthology card we got a little bit ago that's been slowly gaining more tools as more historic anthologies have been printed. A while back, we gained Blinkmoth Nexus, which was a quality upgrade to this deck, and most recently, we gained both Vault Skirge and the Court Homunculus here as more cheap 1-mana cards to play. So this deck has a splash for red to get some Showdown of the Skalds as card advantage in the main deck, as well as some good interaction and Fry and Abrade out of the sideboard. Showdown is especially powerful with its second 2 chapters, putting extra counters on Blinkmoth Nexus. One question I've gotten asked, and I think this is a pretty important question, is I'm someone who's pretty low on Intangible Virtue as a card, but I really love Tempered Steel. And there's 2 things that make Tempered Steel much better than something like Intangible Virtue. The first is that Tempered Steel gives you double the bonus that Intangible Virtue does for only 50% more mana. And the second is that Tempered Steel gets to power up Blinkmoth Nexus, which mitigates one of the big downsides these types of decks have, which is this is a card that plays around sweepers with our power up, which is great. So let's go ahead and dive on into some games with this. I like this deck a lot in previous seasons. I'm interested to see if it could feel like it could still be competitive in a post-archives world. Engineer, thank you for the 42 months and for the tier 2. Welcome back. Good morning, good morning. I queued the wrong deck, did I? Let's find out. So, to clarify, because there seems to be some... No, I clicked the wrong one. To clarify, because there seems to be some confusion in chat. I'm not talking about playing Intangible Virtue in this specific deck. I'm talking about playing the card Intangible Virtue in general, because tokens decks that we've played a few different iterations of, I've always explicitly not included Intangible Virtue in the tokens decks. Whereas this artifact deck, we do play Tempered Steel. Just in case that wasn't clear, I'm drawing comparisons between 2 different decks, not 2 different cards in this deck specifically. Wow, dead game. If you would like to hear me chew while I eat, there's a tier 3 subscriber channel in the subs Discord server, or I upload those audio logs after the stream for those that want it. Yeah, stands fine. Needs to draw some land, but that's a good 1-2-3 curve even without hitting a land. I bet the modern queue will probably be pretty quick tomorrow. Press pick. Modern's like always been the most popular format on Moto. Tom Tracy, one of the OGs. Thanks for the tier 2 and for the over 5 years. It's a long time. Thanks for keeping me around. Well, our start's good, but we might not get a turn 4 here. Oh, that's kind of an interesting thought. Stonecoil Serpent can block the dragon? Huh. That's kind of funny. Yeah. We're not dead. We're gonna get a turn, but we can't win anymore. Alright, Abrades and Fries are good here. Karns and Showdowns are not. I'll just end the game as soon as possible. Is it a Emeria matchup? Probably an Emeria matchup too, huh? Yeah, Serpent's actually pretty tough for them to take off the board. We saw a Scorching Dragonfire, they could have something like Anger or Sweltering Suns as well. But a lot of their removal is multicolored, so this card's decent. It's like this dodges Prismari command too, because it's multicolored. We go Scourge into Overseer into Big Stake. Hey, that's nice too. Our opponent revealed a Scorching Dragonfire last game, so they have at least that. There's a lot of variation in the answers his opponent's archetype can play, for sure. Laps me, daddy. Interesting. Wonder if we're gonna see a sweeper next turn then. I think cutting any of the threats that I'm playing in this archetype, means my deck doesn't have enough threats in it anymore. I also think making this archetype super linear instead of having an alternative go long plan with things like Karn and Showdown makes the deck worse than other aggressive decks in the format. I think if you're interested in just being purely linear, you should play something other than this deck. I think part of the appeal of this archetype is its ability to go a little bit long with things like Showdown and Karn. Weary, thanks for the prime. I appreciate it. Wouldn't be able to be here without folks like you. Thanks for dropping your Bezo bucks off this month. Okay, spot. Reidane's technically disruption. We've got Fry as disruption. Could get Magma Opus next turn. Oh, actually we can't, right? Because they need to pay 2 and then 2 more. The opponent's sleeves. They are the what's her name? The Planeswalker that has the 3-drop. I think that question is, like, not really worth talking about, Corky, because it's not something that's going to change at this point. Like, they can't go back in time. They're not going to change it out. Yangling, yeah, that's the one. Pretty solid game for us here. Good amounts of disruption and pressure. So, I would be surprised if they explicitly picked out the archives with historic in mind. I think they picked out the archives because they could potentially be iconic Magic cards, and then they incidentally decided, oh, we could probably have most of these be in historic, let's try it. And again, I'm glad they did. Even we've had a couple of archives that obviously were a little bit too much. I expect them to continue adjusting around it, but I would, as I've talked about many times before, I would much rather have them try and miss on occasion with the design or something that they want to experiment with, rather than constantly be just like playing it safe. Completely agree, Blong. Historic is an ideal format for them to be taking risks in. Free Lightning Bolt. I think Lightning Bolt would be an awful inclusion, and I'm glad that they didn't include it. I really don't understand how people can, like, look at... I don't understand how you all can look at what happened with the Jeskai decks right now and be like, yeah, Lightning Bolt would be a good addition to the format. There's been a lot of discussion. I've heard a lot of people say they feel like Wizards doesn't know what they're doing with this format, and I feel the exact opposite. I think Wizards has a very clear vision for what they want this format to be, and that it seems like, as an outsider looking in, that they want this to be a format where you can play sweet cards that are iconic without having play sweet cards that are iconic without the busted enablers for those cards being present. That's why we're getting Mind's Desires and Dragon Storms, but we're not getting Rituals and Moxes. Putting all the sweet threats into this format, but having mediocre to middling answers seems like a great way to be approaching it. I like it a lot. Yeah, I think we'll eventually get there, Bunga. where you have a format like, okay, everything's legal, just like go nuts, like play your Okos, play your bolts and your rest in peace and your plows and whatever. Am I supposed to have rest in peace in this matchup? It's so tough, because, like, it's good against exactly Mizzix Mastery, but, like, they have 4 copies of that. Try this. This might be too much disruption. I know a timeout request when I see one. Squirt VGC, welcome to the channel. Hope you're enjoying Magic. Is VGC reference to Pokemon there? Squirt seems like a Squirtle reference. We've done some VGC on stream before. And we're actually, I've been doing a ton of, I've been very big into Pokemon Go PvP recently. So I've been playing a bunch of, we're gonna be doing that on stream again tomorrow afternoon. I think I'm putting this into play tapped rather than playing another thing out into a sweeper here. I hit the adult numbers in Pokemon Go PvP last night. I'm an ace trainer chat with an MMR rating. It's exciting. I'm gonna be the very best, like no one ever was. Oh, sorry, not tomorrow, not tomorrow. Sorry, tomorrow's only Wednesday. We're gonna do Pogo Thursday. Thursday is Pogo. I apologize. I apologize for the tease. Missing our third land tier feels real bad. I think we're dead to a Mizzix Mastery here, chat. Just can't afford to miss. Our deck's 24 lands, right? I have an unfortunate set where we stumbled in games 1 and 3 there. I think I'm just gonna frowny face every time my opponent's playing Brainstorm while that card's legal. Just to send a message. Nah, Exit Sad, I think I've kind of aged out past enjoying the Pokemon video games. I played through Pokemon Sword recently, and like we did a little VGC with that, but honestly, I like how Pokemon Go is structured a lot better than the traditional Pokemon video games. I think a lot of the game design decisions they have with it is more enjoyable. I think I actually liked the Naya Arcanist deck today as my favorite Arcanist deck that I've played so far. It felt very, very sweet. Yeah, that's accurate, what BSQ said. The stock Pokemon games haven't had any innovation in a long time. I think this URL doesn't work anymore. Yeah, we can delete that one. Speaking of Pogo, my Discord notifications tell me if you're in there, there's people looking to do a Registeel raid. I can't raid while I'm working, chat. I feel like the ladder is punishing us, because before we started this deck, I talked about how we hadn't run into much Jeskai. That's our second Jeskai turns in a row now. Yeah, I agree, Topher. Fire magic design burned down the interesting parts of Magic's control mirrors. I genuinely don't. Control mirrors used to be my favorite parts of Magic, and I just don't like them at all anymore. They're just not fun, in my opinion. What is fire design? Fire is an acronym that was used to describe how Magic design changed in kind of a fundamental way in recent years. Alright, so like, do I just like put a 4/4 Stonecoil Serpent into play here? I think that's the plan, right? It's really bad against Memory Lapse, though. It stands for fuck it, rude everything. Man, how is that the first time I've heard that? That's great. Fuck it, rude everything. Alright, so do we play around anger or do I play around Memory Lapse? I'm gonna play around Memory Lapse. Now, I'm gonna empty my hand. Yeah, if you haven't watched Bomber Guy's, Bomber Guy's vaccines documentary breakdown, that kind of goes through the origins of the anti-vax movement. As something of a scientist myself, I've always known that was nonsense, but honestly, the documentary was eye-opening to even me, because I didn't realize just how thin and awful the anti-vaccine movement was. Grifter's gonna grift. I have made a decision to not play around Anger of the Gods, opponent. Punish me, daddy. Okay. So we're gonna lose Bomat and Steel Overseer here, I assume. Yeah, it's not an anger. Like, I was expecting this one to happen. Wait. What? It's for the follow, Carlos? Okay, yeah, I was like, those are way wrong. Okay. That makes sense. It's like not killing Steel Overseer is a bold choice. Just cast another one of these. They didn't have anger last turn, so if they still don't have it. Yes, people, that's the TLDR of the video, full effect, is that human beings are awful at distinguishing between correlation and causation. So, the Serpent could attack there. It if the Serpent attacked, my opponent could start taking turns and kill us, chat. I wanted 2 Serpents back to block in case they put a Velocomist into play this turn. So you're right, these could have attacked, but I made the conscious decision not to. Really surprised they didn't kill my Steel Overseer and they made a treasure. They must be working up towards Hardcast Dragon. Well, I mean, you gotta ask yourself, why? Yeah, why are they not killing my thing? Well, it's probably because it's a really interesting decision to target the one that I can protect and not kill my protection from multicolored one. Yeah, I mean, like, Ryan, a lot of the things, like, as someone who's taught statistics classes to high school students and, you know, college students, and even returning adult students, it's a very unintuitive topic to a lot of people. It is a topic that a lot of people fail to grasp the fundamentals of because it just isn't intuitive the way a lot of people's brains work. And part of that is because, you know, the correlation and causation, it's a survival instinct to a degree. You know, when we were Neanderthals and you ate a bad batch of berries and then you got a stomach ache and felt sick, you were like, oh, the berries made me feel sick. I'm not going to eat those berries anymore. Do you think they're trying to kill my Stonecoil Serpents here? It is a correlation, Tim Louis. The correlation is when most people who don't have experience with early signs of autistic children start noticing the first more obvious signs that a child is autistic is about the same age that you get your vaccines at. It is most definitely a correlation versus causation type thing. Because they notice that at the same time, about the same age they get the vaccines, parents who don't understand science and haven't read any knowledgeable information correlate the, oh, my child is autistic, and I realized that they're autistic about the time they got the vaccine. Yeah. Doesn't mean the cause wasn't that, but you notice them about the same time, and people's little lizard brains are difficult at distinguishing those two things from each other. What's going on, Sean? Did you see our Stony boys block the big dragon? It was quite the epic battle for our Stone boys. Alright, we theoretically have lethal here. We've got 6 mana though, and they've had some instant speed spells, so we could get us. Oh, that's a 4/4. Man, this deck has all the good cards in it, chat. They did do it pre-combat, so I can decide if I want to attack or not. This is my last Magic deck of the day, Seth. Yeah, I think we're just supposed to bonk with the Brute at this point. Make sure we click the right activated ability here. Yeah, Yeah, definitely allegedly average. One of my favorite quotes is statistics don't lie, but liars love statistics. It's like very, very true statement. Yeah, I agree, Bob. Which is why, like, honestly, when people talk about, like, I don't think there's any one individual thing that's too good that this deck is doing. That description is a prime reason why the card selection, like Brainstorm, is probably the ideal thing to remove, because you just need to make it a little bit less consistent. You too, Sean. Thanks for dropping in. All right, so if we give this Dorko can't be blocked again, and then they block a 3, they take exactly lethal, so we just make them have it here. I think we just make them have it here, because we technically have them dead. I guess if I'm attacking, I didn't need to make this unblockable. Alright, sometimes lucky. Okay, so we have a game plan at least. We're boarding those out. We're bringing in 2 Rips, Archon, this, and Fry. 1-drops, we have 18 1-drops, and then these. I like it. Well, the turns deck doesn't even play Helix, Bob, so I don't think Helix is the right choice. The turns deck does play Memory Lapse in most of the iterations. We set a stream goal of getting Day 9 to commentate a Hooglandia Open. Maybe. I need to DM him and find out if that's possible and what his contract rate is. Or maybe even if not a full day, maybe asking him what he would charge to do a couple rounds in the middle could be fun. I feel like we want to save that for something special, like maybe like the open right after rotation. Expressive iteration is better than Brainstorm. Expressive iteration is different than Brainstorm. Expressive iterations, effect is definitely more powerful, but it's less resource efficient, right? So you're getting more power, but you're paying more mana. So I think the people, Hammy, that are talking about banning archetypes in their entirety are unreasonable. I think from a fundamental perspective, the discussion surrounding the current range of Steam Vents decks and Historic should be different than what we talked about with Tainted Pack. With Tainted Pack, the combo itself was toxic and too good and too difficult to interact with. With all of these Jeskai decks, I don't think any of their core game plans is inherently too powerful. It wasn't one tournament, Hammy. I'm so tired of time. Like, for fuck's sake, chat. If you think, go take 20 minutes, Hammy, and watch this video. I'm so tired of blocking people and timing people out that are telling me, Jeff, it was only one tournament with Jeskai. Chat, the Jeskai decks have been putting up fucking results for 3 weeks in a row. This was not one tournament. It was 3 tournaments this weekend, and it was multiple tournaments in the prior weekends before that, too. Don't argue with me about the data. I've looked at the data. I've got videos about the data, chat. People keep acting like this is different, and it's weird, and it's like, no, it's not just this one. You're right. If it was one tournament, I'd tell you that people talking about bans are silly, but it's not. So quit talking out of your asshole and go look at the information before you tell me I'm wrong. That's like, I removed someone's ability to post comments on my YouTube video yesterday because they were like, they started with the assertion that people asking for bans on Brainstorm are just like when people were talking about banning Muxus. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna humor you. Can you link me some information that shows Muxus had tournament statistics and win rates and stuff like Brainstorm has right now? And just fucking crickets, just more nonsense BS, putting their feelings in and not talking about reality or talking about specifics, just like, nah, I feel like it's the same. It's like, get out of here, don't waste my time. Like, I'm willing to be wrong. I'm wrong all the time. Just like one of the things that always really gets me, like, Jeff, you think you're always right. I'm not always right. Ask my wife if you think I'm always right, chat. It's just when you want to tell me I'm wrong, you better bring your tools. Say, Jeff, you're wrong, and this information shows why you're wrong, and explain it to me. Don't just be like, nah, my feels are better than your feels, Jeff. It's very silly. Being a married man, I'm also never... I mean, I'm right on occasion. I'm not always wrong. It's just, you know, frequently. I think we just play a 4-4 here. And that is just my objective opinion. What do I know? Just like your objective opinion, man. Sorry, to go back to what I was saying before we derailed. All of the Jeskai decks right now, and that's Jeskai Control, it's Jeskai Velociraptor, it's Jeskai, it's Phoenix, that's a blue-red deck. They're different than Tainted Pack was, in my opinion, because with Tainted Pack, the core thing the deck was doing was really good and really difficult to interact with. With all of these Jeskai decks, I don't think any one individual thing they are doing is too good. The problem is that they are a sum of their parts, and they're just so consistent is the core issue with them. All right, so they're dead. Excuse me? Okay, I wasn't expecting that one. I knew that this archetype had moved to playing this card, but I wasn't expecting it to come in against us. That's interesting. Yeah, a little bamboozle there. So, like, I wouldn't tell you we need to ban Dragon, we need to ban these other things that are too good. I would, however, tell you that, like, okay, so we get to fry this, and then it's gonna get hit by anger. How would you solve the Jeskai problem? You get rid of Brainstorm, and you get rid of Expressive Iteration. You get rid of the cheap card selection that makes their deck more consistent than everything else in the format. Their core game plans aren't unreasonable. They're just more consistent at executing those game plans than the other decks can keep up with. Yes, exactly that. Focus on the enablers, don't focus on the payoff. The payoffs are sweet, and I think the payoffs are reasonable power level. I think either approach would be fine. If you said, Jeff, what would you do? I would get rid of Iteration and Brainstorm right away. But I think if they wanted to do just one and see how things shake out, I think that'd also be fine. I don't have a strong opinion on which of those two approaches they take. Archon was actually kind of gassed there, huh? This card stops Mizzix Mastery from getting us. I think I want a third Archon in the sideboard for that matchup. Maybe, is third Archon better than third Fry? Is that potentially true? Like, I think that's true. I think third Archon might be better than third Fry. Also, like, a real question, do I need Rest in Peace in this sideboard? I kind of think we don't, right? Like, I have Deccan Stones, and I have Archons for the Phoenix matchup. Velocibus does cast the spell, so Archon stops Velocibus from taking a turn 2. I guess I don't really know that I need another card in my sideboard in this slot, though. I guess I was boarding this in against the... Is it crazy to just play 4 Archons? Yeah, I think Fry and Archon are better. Yeah, I think Fry, honestly, I think it might just be stay at 3 Frys and go up to 4 Archons. Because Archon disrupting both of their plans seems really good. Yeah, like, I like that. There aren't really other graveyard decks in the format, right? Having 4 Archons against Phoenix also sounds great. I like it. Let's go. So, I don't think unbanning any cards solves the problem of the blue decks are just more consistent than everything else. I think you could, like, one of my recent top 5 videos was things I would unban, and I think I would still love to see all of those cards be unbanned, but I don't think any of those specific unbans address the kind of Jeskai more consistent than everything else that we're seeing right now. Yeah, one ban Winota, and then I can brainstorm my Angrath Marauders back to the top of my deck. That sounds great. So, no joke, BSQ, if you really wanted to arms race, and for the record, I think entering into a historic arms race is a terrible idea. Don't escalate, de-escalate. But if you wanted to escalate, Once Upon a Time is the type of card you would need to escalate into. And that design is a rancid dog stain, and I hope it gets gone and stays gone forever. I never want to see it again. But, like, that's the type of crap you would need to put back into the format to, like, keep up with what Brainstorm does. So again, not advocating for that, would say instead take the other cantrips out, but that type of thing is what you would be looking for. Yeah, if you wanted to escalate, Veil could be an unban too. Like there is a lot of ways you could escalate. I personally think the format would be better de-escalating. But as you will. They took a Tempered Seal I couldn't cast. Interesting. Happy to sit here and generate a little Karn advantage.
I am Karn.
This deck leverages cards -2 quite reasonably. My body is ready to die to a Grey Merchant next turn, chat. I've prepared myself mentally for it.
Please stop.
Please stop. Oh my gosh, I missed that this has reach. My opponent and I both missed that Snake has reach, chat. Mistakes were made. I think we're dead. It doesn't matter, I missed on the white source anyways, but yes, I definitely missed. We were talking and clicking. I missed that reach was there. Deck in Stone sounds great here. It's an Abrade matchup. It's probably an Abrade matchup, huh? Probably is actually, this probably has a hard time attacking. We'll leave Homunculus in. Corporate Karn is very polite. Listen, he works in corporate America, chat. He knows his way around. Nice. It's for the follow-us boss. Good afternoon. The way they massacred my boy, chat. That's so good in this deck. It was a little awkward on our mana base last game, but looking pretty stellar here. You get booted right up. I'm gonna attack for 12 here in a second. My not flyer. Crunch. Great. I gotta try and win one on the draw, huh? We thought we boarded, run it back. Off season against my aggro deck, sure. Bold strategy. The 1 mana 2/2 chat was the most honest of 1-drops. Raker. You got him. He's dead, Jim. This is Boros Steel. As always, you can type !deck in chat to get linked to the current deck, or it should be on your overlay extension as well. There might have been merit to waiting on this until we had a 4th mana because of spawn. Adding artifact lands to historic be a good or terrible idea. I don't know that they really do anything, right? It's not like we have Metalcraft stuff that you're enabling or affinity for artifacts. Tezzeret's like a well, actually, in terms of, like, things having what I'm talking about. Alright, as far as non-land draws go, it's okay, we get the double block now. Ooh, Ayara with Gutter Bones. Now, even if we answer the Spawn of Mayhems, we're probably dead. She gets to go ahead and eat this and loop it back and drain us some more. Yep, that'll do, pig. Not a whole lot we could do there that game. We'll get some more mana. 24 lands, right? I'll double check now. Been land light in a couple of games. Are we playing enough? It's just anecdotal. Yeah, 24. All right. Let's be slightly luckier. Morning, King. I'll play the Blinkmoth Nexus here as my second land, so that way if we brick on a spell to cast next turn, we can fire it up and attack. Some fair green beats over there. Straw. Oh, I could have shocked myself to deal a damage. That's probably the correct thing to do. Do you have a fighty spell? A fighty spell? A fighty spell? Rude. Steal Overseer, chat. Remember when Green didn't get to play a bunch of copies of Murder, chat? Rich Farm remembers. This might just be like a corporate Karn down tick into corporate Karn down tick, second corporate Karn down tick again game. Just like get real big real fast. Visionary. Vision is scary. Start the revolution. Looten the airwaves. What if they pump Scavenging Ooze and attack Karn if I'm supposed to trade? Probably. Yeah, artifact lands would make corporate Karn slightly better, that's true. Yeah, I gotta trade here, right? He makes another friend anyways, just means we don't get to attack this turn and takes the skews off the table.
Oh, say hello.
My favorite historic deck at the moment. Most of the high potential decks on my site are things that I like, no fire.
There is great power in the things we make.
This has haste, so this cannot run past it. Glad we got to get a game where Karn got to flex. Hey, good game, Slice Floors. If you have, if you'd like to share, there were folks in chat asking about the deck that you're playing. So if you have a link to it on Goldfish or Untapped or somewhere, feel free to drop it in chat. I'm sure some of the people would love to see it. Good luck in the rest of your laddering today. Alright, so you just need to draw any artifact here. You can make these Karn structs into 6/6s again. Nice, that counts.
I'll make use of that later.
Hey, Hydro Farm. The double spell Karns, chat. They just ain't fair. It's for the 4 months, Hydro Farmer. Appreciate it. Welcome back. Should I have attacked with this? They have to block both of these, right? Yeah, I missed a free point. Maybe I should have shipped something into here so she doesn't live. Can't imagine they have anything that gets them out of this spot here.
With my aim and their claws, you're done.
Illegal attacks! You're illegal. Bomat Courier is pretty bad here. They gum the board up. Declaration in Stone sounds good. Do I expect the game to go long enough for Skalds to be reasonable? Probably not. Probably not enough for the extra one, and their Vornclicks turns it off. Just bring in the Abrades to be able to kill some of their accelerants a little bit. Things like Scavenging Ooze. Will we draw one of our 16 1-drops here, 14 1-drops or whatever? Yeah, I think Naya Magecraft was definitely the best of the 3 decks we played today. It was super, super impressive. Slow motion, thanks for the follow. This is me, Daddy.
I have survived Nico Bolas, and I will survive you. Get him.
Hey, what? Naya Magecraft was the first deck we played this morning, and it was excellent. I think I play the Nexus here to pressure the Vivian next turn. Hey, thanks for the sub, Slow Motion. I appreciate the support. Wouldn't be here without folks like you.
This will be fun to watch.
Okay. So fire this up. Activate this. Chuck this in. Abrade this. Kill this. And then unfortunately, I think the pressure from this questing beast is going to be a little bit too much to overcome here. We're at 9 already.
Gets me so far.
Might have won this game on the play. It's going to be a little bit too slow on the draw, I think. Maybe if we'd had a one drop, we'd have been okay. Hey, Liquid. Thanks for the prime. Welcome to the channel this afternoon. Huh. So what if I do this, and then do this, and then do this? If their last card's a blank, we might actually stabilize here. If they have another good spell, we're probably dead, but we've got a shot thanks to Tempered Steel. So I'm loving the historic beta Mondays. Thanks for the feedback. Yeah, it's neat. It's gonna be neat to be able to go back like a few months from now and kind of track how the format developed. Okay. Damn. Yeah, I think we're dead. I think I have any draws at this point, because I got a double block and that says Death Touch. The one counter from Vivian is so good there. Really close game. It's almost stabilized. I knew that last card to be something slightly worse. Alright, I get to be game 3 on the play now in the aggro mirror. You love to see it. Hand's only okay. Goes pretty wide. If we run off lands for Karn, could be fine. No elf out of them is good for us. Are there any aggro decks that play better on the draw? No. There aren't really magic decks that play better on the draw. Something that I've talked about before is that one place I really wish Magic would try and innovate a little bit is I think Magic would be a better game if they would experiment with giving the player on the draw a little bit more of a bonus. Thinking about trading for my 2/2? We get the land next turn. Karn's gonna be really good. I'm surprised that they're fighting a 2/2 instead of making a 4/5 here. Yeah, Knight of the White Orchard's a sweet card. For sure.
I advise that you
They could be lazy and copy the treasure. There's just like hundreds of different things they could do. There's so many little advantages they could give to the person on the draw to make it be less of a detriment. This one's got to be doubling up, right? Really? This really surprises me.
Allow me to introduce you to a friend of mine.
Pretty close to being under the abyss here. One that I've talked about before is that a change that I think would be sweet for the player on the draw is neither player should draw a card on the first turn of the game, or both players draw a card, either one. But the person on the draw should just start with 8 cards in hand. And that's a pretty big advantage, especially with the mulligan, the way mulligans work right now. So like you'd start at 8 and then you'd mulligan to 7, drawing 8, putting 1 back, mulligan to 6, draw 8, put 2 back. We'll be playing Modern on stream tomorrow. Tomorrow morning, we'll be doing 3 different decks. Might as well trade. Today is not Wednesday, today is Tuesday.
Good choice.
Yeah, you could do little small things like get a free mulligan. There's, like I said, there's literally dozens of options that are all like reasonable things you could be doing. I think I'm giving them a token to kill their mana dorks here. You know what? I think we're at a point in the game where I'm just playing this as a 1-1, huh? Pump up the jam. It's exiled over here. A showdown.
Evil cannot withstand a righteous army.
Evil cannot withstand a righteous army, chat. Alright, when Kolga attacks, it gets to break one of our toys. I don't think that's gonna be enough here. Yeah, they have Faceless Haven, but we like also went wide, so I forget to pump the Blinkmoth. This takes a mana to pump. Pumping was not an option. They're still just dead, right? They go block, and they take more than 4. They take 6. Man, so many tryhards up here in the Mythic Numbers chat. People keep making me kill them instead of conceding when they're dead on board. Burns, babe. Thanks for the brand new tier 1 sub. Welcome to the channel. Good afternoon. Yeah, it's been pretty reasonable. We played blue-white Tempered Steel last week, and blue-white Tempered Steel felt pretty good too. I don't know that I think this deck is strictly better, but it's a little bit different. We haven't really gotten to see any good Showdown of the Skalds games yet so far. Our red sideboard cards have been decent though, like Fry and Abrade have both felt reasonable boarding in so far. Are we not conceding to top 1,200 players? I literally wouldn't get to play any games, Master Chief. I concede to top 1,200 players usually at the very end of the season, but that's still 3 weeks away. Usually like the last, like, I don't know, 4 or 5 days, somewhere in there. Depending on where we're doing. But like, there's probably not even 1,200 people in Mythic right now. How does Velocibus turns compare to Splinter Twin? I would say, no, that's not a comparison people are making. But also at the same time, I've met Magic Twitter, and I know that that's definitely a comparison people are making. Thanks for the follow, Tigrane. Good afternoon. Alright, they're playing Jeskai Control. Might get to see Showdown come to life here. It was made infinite times at the Strixhaven Champion stream by the commentary team. Yikes. Basically Splinter Twin. Oh, Magic players. Alright, hopefully we draw Blinkmoth Nexus next turn and then we recover from this sweeper. Alright, I mean, as far as like non-land draws go, it's towards the top. I guess a haste creature would have maybe been better, but 2/3/3s for 6 mana is not bad. Oh man, do they gotta downtick their Teferi here?
I know what must be done.
I think they do, right? They're dead otherwise? I guess I could have like a Helix in hand. I could uptick and Helix one of my tokens. I will never forget the last time I had someone tell me Splinter Twin was still too strong for Modern on Twitter. I went back and forth with them a little bit politely, and then they told me that they didn't know Spellskite existed out of the card, and at that point I was like, these goddamn Zoomers telling me that cards are too good for the format that I play, that they've literally never played in their Zoomer life. Like, did you tell me Splinter Twin's too good? You've never cast a Spellskite in your life. This Tempered Steel is not here. It's actually on top of my library. This is actually just the worst beat possible. Not only did we fail to draw a land, but I also quite literally drew running 4-mana spells. There are 6 4-mana spells in this deck, chat, and we have drawn 4 of them without drawing a 4th land. Thanks for the 2/3 of a year. Hi, Shin. Welcome back.
Keep an open mind.
Garbage time. How many fries do I want in this matchup? Probably all of them. Why do we concede with a 5/5 haste in hand? Because Arena is graphically bugged. There's only 1 Tempered Steel in play, chat. For people that are just joining us and wondering why I conceded, there was actually only one Tempered Steel in play. The client was bugged. When your opponent removes a card from the battlefield while you are disconnected from the server, when you reconnect, it visually leaves that thing on the screen. It's a feature. She brought me lunch, chap.
Do you need chips or anything?
No, just the sandwich is great. I was just thinking I was kind of hungry. You're the best. Thanks for the follow, Lisa Panda. Welcome to the channel. It's fine. Amazing, but fine. When do you find time to play all those board games? Well, for a long time we didn't. But since everybody's gotten poked with some COVID vaccines, we've already had 2 game nights, and we plan to keep having that amount in stride.
Number 6.
This stream isn't sponsored or endorsed by Jimmy John's, but Jimmy John's, if you're out there, it certainly could be. Let's talk.
I let his phone die before I plugged it in.
Did you really?
I was looking.
I love you anyways.
Looking now.
Plugged in now. Harsh.
Plugged in for like 3 hours.
Harsh but fair. Jimmy
died within like half an hour.
Jimmy John's bread is too much sugar. It's like cake. Yeah, that's why it's delicious, chap. It's funny, every time my middle child, Declan, asks if something has sugar in it, I just respond with, well, do you like it? And when he says yes, it's like, well, yeah, it has sugar in it. It's no big deal. Thanks for the follow. Chill this afternoon.
I mean, the same about capital. No ethic.
There's no ethical consumption under capitalism.
Yeah.
But there is delicious consumption under capitalism, chat, and this sugary bread is definitely delicious.
Tell us about a time Jeff was wrong. I mean, do you have 20 days to listen to me?
I only said one time. Alright, chat, I'm gonna mute so I can crinkle my sandwich. Enjoy Jeskai control, if you can do that.
Somebody just said something about Jersey mics. Are they good? There's one opening here in a couple months.
Christy needs your opinions on fast food, chap. We're getting one soon. So, Helix here implies no sweeper, right? So I think the Helix means we down tick. See if we get punished.
There is great power. Until all, say hello to my people. Some solutions must be built.
I'm supposed to put this into play. We get Opus next turn. If I put this into play, they can't Opus to kill this plus this. I think the Opus changes me into doing this. Probably means we're gonna get Wrath of God and die, but it is what it is. My favorite historic decks are the ones in the high potential category on my website, if you haven't seen those.
Evil must not be.
Thanks for the follow, Astronaut, and Arthur, and Volkner. Good afternoon.
Allow me to introduce you to a friend of mine.
Yeah, favorite deck command sounds great, BSQ. Appreciate you. Thanks for the 2 years, Reidane.
I'm known for my excellent timing. Hold that thought.
When they helix this Blinkmoth, we'll concede. Oh, great. So, little sad to end on some Jeskai sadness, but it is what it is what it is. How many bits for a deck donation? 5k bits gets the deck added to the queue for historic. All in all, though, I felt like our deck was pretty reasonable today. Honestly, I think my one big takeaway is maybe the red's not worthwhile. We're primarily red for Showdown of the Skalds. Like, the couple of sideboard cards were okay, but I think I was level in here. Yeah, blue-white steel. Last time we played, we had Skilled Animator and Whirler Rogue, and like, Karn was really good in the set today, but like, we have Karns in this deck too. I think I preferred this build. I think after playing the red-white configuration, I think I'm going to change the recommended build on my site to be this blue-white one. Both access to Miscast and Whirler Rogue as another go-wide tool at the top end of the curve felt really good in this build. And this deck also plays slightly less 4s too, so you get like a little bit less clunky. Yeah, Skilled Animator was really good last time we played this build too. So I'm glad we played Steel today. I think the white tempered steel aggro core definitely is one of the high potential decks on my site. I think I'm definitely gonna leave that up there, but I'm going to change the recommended list from red to blue. Yeah. Red-white steel was an archetype before we played Showdown. Not really. Maybe I don't remember what we had before, but it was the only red card we were on is Skalds. And honestly, I was pretty happy with this list last time we finished on it. I think it's in a pretty reasonable spot. Maybe Rest in Peace turns into Archon of Emeria. Maybe I'll do that when I put it on the site. Yeah, let's do that. Let's do one card that impressed me out of the red-white build, out of the sideboard, is definitely Archon in the Velocimist turns matchup. So I think, oh yeah, Bomat Courier is technically a red card. That's true. That's it. That's a red card, is Bomat Courier. Good catch. We had Chandra at 1.2, but you're right. Bomat Courier is like the red artifact that was worth playing. See, I like this build better. If you haven't seen this build, obviously minus the Archons I just put in here, check out my YouTube channel. There's a ton of decks up there. Everything that I play that I think is worth watching gets put into its own video up there. It's also going to end up on my website decks this evening when I do some edits there. The tempered steel page up there will get changed to blue-white steel and have the video of us playing it embedded up there too. All the decks that I have videos for get videos underneath them. At any rate, that's going to wrap up on me for Magic for today. Thanks everybody for hanging out. My schedule the next couple of days is a little bit wonky compared to what I normally do. So tomorrow morning, if you're into Boomer Magic, we are going to be dipping back into Modern on Magic the Gathering Online. I've got Kiki Cord. I've got blue-red, As Foretold Suspend deck that we're going to play, and I've got black-white Ephemerate Dead Guy Ale that we're going to play. And then Thursday morning, we're going to be back to doing Arena. Thursday, Friday mornings will be Historic on Arena again, but Thursday I need to start late because my wife has an eye doctor appointment Thursday morning, and I need to have someone watch Baby Girl. So I'll be starting late on Thursday. We'll start about 10 a.m. on Thursday with more Historic. I'll be back with that. And then tomorrow morning, I'll be live at my normal 8 a.m. time. We'll be doing Modern on Magic Online tomorrow morning. You know, as a Magic Zoomer, I should check out Kiki Cord at least once in my life. Just prepare yourself for disappointment. The wrap-up ones, I prefer the blue build of them. At any rate, for people that are new to the channel, in addition to doing Magic every day to start the stream, we also do variety stuff We are about 5 hours into my first playthrough of Until Dawn on the PlayStation, so we're going to shift over to that for the rest of the stream today. Here's my PlayStation turns on. It'll be disappointing. It'll still have triple the view count of other modern decks. I mean, my YouTube channel is small. We'll see. I expect the first couple of videos to do well just because people have morbid curiosity. We'll see what the metrics look like.